Unit 7, Bonds, Introduction to the Measurement of Interest Rate Risk, Lecture 6, Price Volatility of Bonds, Part B. Now over the next few slides we're going to look at different examples that give us an idea of the impact of maturity, coupon, and yield on bond price volatility. So we start by looking at an example where we find out what the impact of maturity can be on bond price volatility. So here we have a table that summarizes for us the information about a 1-year, 10-year, 20-year, and 30-year bond with a $1,000 par value and an 8% coupon. So when we look at the results, we notice that the price of a 1-year bond declined by 2.9%, while the 30 bond declined by almost 30% for the 30% yield change. So what this demonstrates is that the longer the maturity of the bond, the greater the price volatility. So here we look at the difference in the fall in prices for the 10-year and the 20-year bond, which is 7.2%. And when we compare it to the difference in the fall in the price between the 20 and 30-year bond, which is only 3%, we notice that price volatility, although it's increasing as maturity increases, is actually doing so at a decreasing rate. Now, our next example is going to give us an indication of the impact of the coupon rate on bond price volatility or interest rate sensitivity. So we have 4 20-year bonds with a $1,000 par value with coupon rates varying from 0 to 12%. So what we notice from the table is that as the coupon increases, the percentage change decreases, which means that the coupon and the price volatility have an inverse relationship, because we see that the smallest coupon bond has the highest percentage change in price. And in this example, we're going to look at how yields impact on bond price volatility. We have a 20-year 4% bond with a $1,000 par value, with interest rates ranging from, or yields going from low to high. And what you notice is that yield changes at higher yields have a smaller impact on bond prices than yield changes at lower yields. So if we look at the yield changes from 3 to 4%, bond prices decrease by 14.1%, and yet if you have yield changes from 9 to 10%, there's only an 11% decrease in bond prices. The question that will most likely come to mind at this stage is, so what? So what if we know how volatile a bond's price is? So what if we know that coupon and maturity are the major variables that influences bond price volatility? Well, so that you can benefit from a particular strategy. In the instance where you're expecting a major decline in interest rates, When interest rates decline, we know that bond prices increase. So to benefit from this information, your trading strategy will be to invest in a portfolio of bonds with the maximum interest rate sensitivity so that you will enjoy maximum capital gains when interest rates fall. And that's why this is important. Now, in the examples we've looked at previously to determine bond price volatility, we've always varied only one factor. For example, when we looked at yield to maturities, we only varied the yield to maturity and we kept the coupon, the par value, and the maturity of all the bonds the same. Well, that's not always how it works in reality. And this example is designed, or this exercise is designed to show you what happens in reality and the complications that you will encounter. Because here as a portfolio manager, you're being asked to select a bond that you're going to include in your portfolio, and you've been given 3 sets of information or 3 sets of bonds to choose from, and you've been told that you're going to be facing an increasing interest rate environment, and they want you to choose a bond from each of the sets, and you need to explain why. Now I'm just going to talk briefly about set 1. If you look at set 1, you have 2 bonds, A and B. They have the same maturity, but their coupons are different, and so are their yield to maturities. So how do you choose? And that's the question. You would have to make a judgment call, and you'd have to decide between coupon and yield to maturity which one is going to have the bigger impact on the bond price volatility. And because interest rates are rising, bond prices are going to fall, so you want to choose the bond which is the least interest rate sensitive or has the lowest price volatility. And actually this leads us on very nicely to duration, because duration is the answer to this question. Duration combines all these factors into one measure that will give you an indication of how sensitive our bond price is to interest rate changes.